The mermaid tail making world, as we know it, is about to change forever. This is OatiCoat. This is the miraculous gel coating. I found this while on a mission to help one of my mermaids repair some damage on their tail and reinforce things, and one thing led to another. I got a jar of it. I tried it out. I love it. So we're gonna start this video off by saying right away, because I don't want anybody to make this mistake, but this product is not suitable for all mermaid tails. As in, it will not work well with all fabric, okay? I really need you to underline this if you're taking notes, because I do not want to hear that you ruined your mermaid tail because you didn't follow the steps that I'm gonna give you now and give you all the information, and that you potentially ruined your mermaid tail. So let's, please, before you run off and go buy it immediately, watch the whole video. I'm gonna try and be efficient here, and then go nuts, okay? So like I just said, it's not suitable for all fabric. It's not suitable for all mermaid tails, okay? You will need to follow the instructions exactly. And we got, there's examples, there's stuff coming, hang tight. But this is also not a bulletproof solution, okay? You are still gonna, if you use this, you are still going to need to be nice to your mermaid tail. So don't go thinking that you're just gonna slather this all over the whole tail, because that's not a good idea, okay? And that somehow your tail is just gonna be like indestructible, okay? It's not exactly how this works. So miraculous asterisk, okay? Okay, so now that I have that kind of out of the way, you probably are wondering like, what are they waving around? What is this? I mentioned it ever so briefly in my last video. If you missed that video, I'll be sure to link it for you guys. And I had lots of questions. And I'd like to thank those of you who were very respectful and very patient, because I knew that I was gonna make this the next video, but you guys didn't know that, so I appreciate your patience and your faith in me. But what is it? So this is OatiCoat. On the front of the container it says, gel coating, oilcloth effect, waterproof, stain resistant. Yeah, baby. It's also machine washable. Yeah, you heard that right. Now, am I telling you to go throw your mermaid tail in the washing machine? No, I'm not. Don't be doing that. Especially if your mermaid tail maker has told you not to. This is a surefire way to ruin a mermaid tail, okay? Some mermaid tails can survive the wash. There are some makers who will let you know that their tails can survive a wash and a brief tumble in the dryer. Not all mermaid tails. That's going to be the theme of today's video. Not all mermaid tails. Okay, so OatiCoat is water-based, and I'm not going to pronounce this correctly, but it's bisphenol. Am I even close? Free. It does require ironing to cure it, and once it has been cured, you know, heat set, it is permanent. So now, as I mentioned, I swear I'm going to keep saying it because there's going to be somebody who's not paying attention, who's going to use too much, who's going to use it incorrectly, potentially, and is going to not be happy with the results. So I'm just gonna keep saying it again. You need to do a little test. You need to do like a little test swatch before you go and attempt to put this all over your tail, because this will also alter the stretchability of your tail. So the areas that you put it on will become a little bit stiff. It will have still some elasticity, but it's not gonna be like what it was before you put it on, especially if you're putting on multiple coats. So just keep that in mind. So pick a spot of the tail that's not super noticeable, like maybe under a fin, okay, or like on the inside of your waistband where there's still like some color. Do a little test swatch, right? Heat set it, test it, and just see how it reacts, okay? Because I'm not out there testing this on every fabric mermaid tail under the sun, okay? So I have only tested it on 2 kinds of fabric, okay? That's it. My new fabric and my old fabric, and I have some information. Because the Patreon pod and I have discovered that OatiCoat may not be compatible with Finfolk and Mertailor tails. They already have a water repellent coating that's just part of the fabric that they're printing on. And for some reason, I'm not a scientist, I can't explain the why of it all, but this stuff doesn't bond the same way to that material, which is unfortunate, but what are you gonna do? So likewise, if you have a tail from me, one of my older tails, not one of the new fabric tails, a tail with my old fabric that I used to use, that fabric also had the same water repellent coating on it. Not the same as this, the same as the Mertailor and the Finfolk of it all, okay? So if you have an older tail from me, if you want to check with me first to make sure of what kind of fabric it was, that's fine. But if you know that it's that same super soft stuff that kind of the water beads on top of, that's the stuff you don't want to add this to. It may not be compatible the way that it is with my new fabric. So I don't want anybody to try it and be like, oh my god, I ruined my tail. What happened? You're gonna do this at your own risk, okay? I'm really selling it to you here. We had somebody in the pod, in the Patreon pod, who had a not good experience with it, and we all made a discovery, and we all learned some things. So I just want to make sure that you, the viewer, are not potentially gonna go strolling down the same path. So just... I know, me, I'm a broken record, but it's important. If I was gonna give you guys the information, I always give it to you straight. I always give you the full meal deal. I just wanna make sure that we're all on the same page. Protecting mermaid tails, that's what this is all about. Okay, so now I wanna talk about actually applying this stuff, because there are some things that you need to know to do it as correctly as possible. Now, I'm gonna show you guys how I've done it. Again, just in the off chance that like their formula changes or you've got an off brand that's not the same brand as this, just follow the instructions on the packet. Don't always listen to me, but I'm gonna show you how I did it. Hopefully that's still helpful, okay? I have linked the exact one that I'm using, but again, this is just my whopper of a disclaimer. I just don't want anybody to ruin a mermaid tail. I know, I'm so paranoid. It's ridiculous, but this could be awesome if used correctly, okay? And please, don't freak out just yet. I am gonna show you guys what this stuff does. It's going to blow your mind. It's going to blow your mind. It blew my mind. I wasn't prepared. I really wasn't. So how I applied it was this is just a plastic, this is not real hair. This is just a plastic bristle brush that I got. Why did I even get this? This is probably like a Michaels find from years ago. And I used the smaller one, but I ruined the smaller one. So just don't do what I did. Always rinse your brush out. You just need a little bit of like dish soap, soapy warm water, and make sure that you really work it out once you're done using it. Because I did, it actually completely solidified, like completely like you could tap it like it was hard as a rock. I should have saved it to show you guys, but I ended up pitching it because I couldn't do anything with it, but it was completely solid. So just rinse out your brush. You can also use a spatula, but for even distribution, the way that I feel like we're gonna want on mermaid tails and to have that like feathering fade, I feel like a brush is gonna be the better bet, but I have not tried it with a spatula, so I may have to test it and then report back. So you'll see it kind of comes out kind of gunky like that. That's fine. What I've been doing is I've actually been just putting it in the lid and then just kind of smearing it on the brush, kind of like that, okay? And I do as thin a coat as possible, okay? So like get the excess off. And then I was just literally painting it on like that. And you can kind of see it go on. It makes the fabric a little bit dark. It's obviously gonna need a little bit more. And I've just been going back and forth because sometimes it does create a little bit of a discrepancy kind of between where it is and where it isn't in terms of color. So I've been just kind of dabbing it on as well to try and create. It also has gotten a little bit foamy at times, which is interesting. I don't know what, that goes away as it dries. Okay. So I consider that kind of one coat, and then that's that. So you'll need to let it dry for 24 hours before you go and apply any more coats over top. One coat is all that I've actually used. I have not needed to do a second coat. As soon as I did do a little bit of a second coat on the heels of Chester, which I'll show you in a second, and that does start to get glossy. Okay, so one coat and it kind of stays matte. Any more than this and it will get a little bit of a gloss effect. So just keep that in mind. And then once it's dry, after 24 hours, then I heat set it with my iron. Okay, on a not super hot setting. Again, just follow the instructions on your container. Heat set it with a piece of parchment paper in between, and then iron it. And then that's how that's applied. And you can actually see it in this lighting right here. I don't know how you can see, there it is. That is where the second coat overlapped, okay? So this was one coat, and here, and a little bit, you can kind of see it has a little tiny bit of a sheen to it here, and a little bit there. I had some overlapping of my Odie coat, and that does leave almost like a glue streak style residue, which honestly, like, you do not see it, and in the water you certainly do not see it. It does help protect extra. Okay, so it is like, this is just, I don't know if you can hear it, but we're not getting damaged here. And so I ended up doing it all up through here. I did it on my knees, I did it on my bum, area, and then a little bit extra on my fins as well, since these are right kind of in the line of fire, okay, as it were. That's kind of what that looks like, just so that you're aware. If you do go in with a second coat, especially on darker areas, you're gonna get a little bit of that. Okay, so with all that out of the way, let's get to the good stuff. I have been dying to show you guys this. I actually teased it over on my Instagram, so if you're not following me on Instagram, you really should be, because I have been posting a lot more over there. I'm so surprised that more people didn't freak out when they saw that video, because I can't believe it. I'm gonna have to show you. Okay, are you sitting down? Are you sitting down when I show you this? Because this is insane. So I have two pieces of fabric here. I have one without no OD coat and one with OD coat, okay? So there's no way you're ever gonna believe me when I show you this. I have an emery board or a nail file, whatever you wanna call this. This is, I wouldn't say this is like the most intense grit ever. This is more of like but like you can see it does, right? Okay, you can see that. Okay, so first off, I wanna show you guys, there we go. Okay, so I don't know how well you're gonna be able to see that, but there you go. Yeah, you can see it pretty clearly. Hopefully that's clear enough, but you can see what that did, right? You can see how that fuzzed it all up. I mean, to be honest, like that actually holds up pretty well considering I'm just like, woo, you know what I mean? Just as the fabric. Now this is my new fabric, just so we're all on the same page. So that's without OD coat, okay? Now this, you can feel it a little bit. You can feel where the difference is. So here there's no OD coat, and here there's OD coat. All right, I had already done this test on the other side as an example for the Patreon pod. This is what it looks like without. That's that scruff. Okay, so same amount of pressure, same amount of force. Okay. Okay, so here you can see where it ended. Oh, sorry. So here you can see actually where the line is, where there's OD coat and when there's no OD coat, but where there's OD coat is right in here. And I know that how are you supposed to believe me, but I don't know what to tell you guys, okay? I don't know what to tell you. That's what this looks like. There is no damage. It isn't doing anything. Like, okay? Whereas, okay, so that's insanity to me. So here you can see there was a little piece here where there was no OD coat, but here where there is, that's the difference, okay? That's insane to me. How's that possible? What kind of sorcery is this? All right, so I am, as you can probably tell, a little bit too excited maybe for this discovery. I'm a little bit scared that now that I tell you guys, I'm not gonna be able to buy it anymore, so maybe I should go like right now and just buy like 2 more tubs, because that's probably gonna be a thing. OD coat. Is it Odif? I feel like it's pronounced Odif as the company, the brand name. I don't know. You know, hit me up. Let me know. You ever wanna like wanna do like a thing? Like I am absolutely floored by this. I used it all the way around, and am I impressed? A little bit thrilled actually. I can't really understand how it works, but I'm not complaining. Like when I tell you I took this, you can't even see anything. I took this wet at the pool with the Monofin in it, sitting on one of those tot docks, okay? And I took it and I rubbed, everybody thought I was insane. One woman was like, you're gonna ruin it. Like, what do you do? I'm like, I'm intentionally trying to ruin this. I am intentionally trying to destroy this here, okay? And I was rubbing it on the grit, on the tot dock. You know those little things that they put in the water so like the tots don't, you know, expire in the water, okay? And they kind of hold on. There's like a little railing, but it's like a harsh grit. Do I recommend doing that to test this? No. Be nice to your mermaid tails. But like, Bro, how is that possible? It did no damage. I got nothing, man. I got nothing. Chester has been protected. New Chester. Love new Chester. Again, if you missed that video, I've got it linked. It's all very exciting. Making mermaid tails again. We're thrilled. As of recording this, the slots that I had open there's a list going on now. And I also changed it to be kind of a first come, first served kind of a situation as opposed to doing the randomizing thing, just to make sure that I'm covering my bases with Patreon, you know? So I do have a bit of a wait list going now, which is not really what I wanted, but we're making lemonade, you guys. We're doing the thing. I'm just so excited. Odiecoat, like, where have you been all my life? I want to test it. I did also test it on the painted swatch that I did, on the test swatch that I did. I tested it on there as well. And it works on top of the paint as well as a protective coating. Mind blown. Okay, so now where do you get it? Because you're probably like, well, okay, Courtney, you've sold me. I want to try it for myself. Where do you buy it? Okay, so I'm not affiliated with these guys. I'm not sponsored or anything, but I do have an affiliate link via my Amazon shop. So it is up in my Amazon shop. I'll have it linked in the cards and in the description box down below for you guys to check out. It doesn't cost you guys any more or less to order through my Amazon shop. So anything that you see on there, it's not going to like charge you extra, but I do get a little bit of a commission off of it. So it's a really nice way to help support the channel if that's something that you would like to do, which I very much appreciate those of you who take advantage of that. Plus, then you guys also know exactly what it is that I'm using, because I post all of the links that I find are for things that I have and like and use myself. So then if you're ever like, oh, what monofin? You know, I've got like the fish fin is linked up there. There's a bunch of other stuff linked up there. All my sewing supplies and fabric markers and this and that, my pill shaver and like all kinds of stuff. Even I think even my my goldfish, some of you guys ask about this, the goldfish cup is also I think linked up there. Again, that's linked up in the cards and in the description box down below. Go get it. Give it a try. Let me know what you think. Now, before I leave you, I do just need to say again, I know that maybe I came off a little bit like intense about this, but guys, it's really easy to ruin a mermaid tail, okay? It's really easy to do it when you are using things like fabric markers and pill shavers or paint or gel coating that you haven't tested before. So test it. So if you have a tail that, even the ones that don't have, like I do rolled over waistbands, but not everybody does. So even like other tails will have a little bit of a waistband maybe, so you could do like a little test just like in the corner, like right in the, like right here. Like for mine, if you have a tail from me and you wanted to test it, be careful please, roll it over, like you have all that extra fabric, just do it a little bit extra. Okay, so again, Mertailor and Finfolk tails need to be wary. This may not work on those tails. Okay, so any tail, I can't say for sure if the FinFun, they're like pro line. I don't know what they're making those tails out of. I haven't seen one in person, so I couldn't tell you what it is. I also haven't actually seen a recent Mertailor or a Finfolk of the new fabric, so this is what I'm getting from like third parties. So try it at your own risk. If you like it, I would love to hear from you guys. Obviously, give me your thoughts, your opinions, your questions, everything in the comment section down below. As always, thank you guys for watching. I hope that answered all of your questions. I'm not gatekeeping. See, I told you what it was and where I got it, and now I'm never going to be able to get it again, probably. That's what's going to happen. That's what happened with the fabric. Nobody remembers that I once used to tell you guys, Spandex World, yeah, go get your fabric from... That's the thing. And then I, poof, never saw it again. It's fantastic. So awesome. So that's going to be it for me today, guys. I love you, my fishes. I wish you all the very best with this stuff, and I look forward to catching you all again in my next video. Happy swimming! Bye!